Is just go through a brief overview on both some of our thinking in terms of the market and where Microsoft is really making some strategic initiatives, and kind of amplify some of the messages that you've been hearing so far during the course of the Developers Conference. As well as I want to spend a bit of time talking about who the customer is and share some market research that we've done in terms of looking at who are the people that are using these devices. And then ultimately I want to talk about some of the marketing activities that we have going on and where Microsoft is going to be, has invested, and where we'll continue to invest our marketing dollars going forward. So that's really what I want to try to cover during the course of this presentation in terms of helping to educate you on our direction, our thinking in this marketplace. I think as people have seen, the marketplace for information appliances is growing at a very dramatic rate, and this trend is something that all you have to do is receive a Business Week publication or a Newsweek publication to really get an understanding of what's happening in this marketplace. I mean, people, I think, have become sensitized to the fact that, you know, there is something really occurring in the information appliance market. When I started working on the Windows CE team 18 months ago, most people, either press or analysts, even some of our OEM partners, were really asking questions about, you know, is there an information appliance market at all? And do customers really want to use these products? And now I'm not being asked those questions. Again, someone can take a look at something like Business Week, where, you know, there's headline articles on information appliances and how those are now revolutionizing the way people are accessing information. So I think the general understanding is that there is a market for information appliances, and that customers do value these appliances, businesses value these appliances, and this market is going to continue to grow. And it's going to grow very rapidly. If you look at just drilling in terms of the mobile companion marketplace, again, I believe this is a slide that Harel shared this morning, but I just wanted to amplify it, because to me it shows that, you know, not only is there a very rapid growth rate according to International Data Corporation in the information appliance, the mobile companion marketplace specifically, 40% compounded year over year. But then also that in terms of Windows CE's viability in this particular market, that IDC estimates that by the year 2000, that the same number of Windows CE appliances will be being sold in terms of palm-sized PC units as Palm OS products, and that going forward that the Windows CE devices will actually increase its momentum and really take the lion's share of this market. That by 2001 and 2002 that it's going to be the leading operating system in the palm-sized marketplace as well. Aberdeen, which I think had a presentation earlier today, talked about in one of their reports how Microsoft is poised to be the industry standard operating system in handheld computing appliances. So, I mean, obviously that's really our vision in terms of having an operating system that is something that customers value and want to have in their appliance. And where my team is really focused is defining, you know, what is the product requirements and how do we actually make this happen? How can we ensure that we're building the products that customers do want to have, so that they can, so we can realize this vision, realize this opportunity in the information appliance space. Now, in terms of Microsoft's visions and where we see the company and again customers going, is that this whole concept of information anytime, anywhere. And, you know, the whole mission of Microsoft is really evolving from not just putting a computer on everyone's desktop, but giving people this opportunity to get their information anytime and anywhere. You know, information access is absolutely critical. And for someone who's a knowledge worker, who's using a personal computer or accessing the internet, I mean, just the value of having information available to them on a device like a Windows CE device is really critical. So, you know, again, Microsoft has this concept of basically enabling solutions that allow information access anytime and anywhere. And again, we have products and operating systems that are on the desktop. We have the Windows CE operating system that's positioned in the intelligent appliance marketplace. And again, we're talking about a whole range of different appliances and devices. And then also, we've done some work in terms of in the area of what we call smart objects, and that's devices that have a microprocessor but don't have a microprocessor that would support something like Windows CE, i.e. it's not a 32-bit microprocessor, but rather like an 8-bit or a 16-bit microcontroller. And so we have some initiatives in terms of our smart card operating system, as well as we have the micro browser that's available for 4-line telephones. Because again, people want to be able to get information access. It may not be on one particular type of computing appliance or one particular type of device. Now, one of the key things that we also look at is in terms of, once people have this concept of an information appliance, or they have this need to access information, it's, what are they really accessing that information from? And, a lot of it really comes from back-end servers. We label these products PC companions or information companions because in terms of being able to articulate what these products are to a customer base, we found that the concept of a PC companion made a lot of sense. A lot of individuals use a PC in their office, and so they wanted the ability to then take that information with them. And the idea that this device then synchronized with their PC, through that term PC companion, really resonated well. But ultimately, people want to not only access their PC, but their back-end server. And so the ability to access your Exchange server, or to being able to access other email repositories is critically important for customers. And then, in addition, they really want to be able to access a service behind that server. And so it's not just, I have the need to access my email system, but rather I may have the need to access an email service. And I want that information then with me while I'm traveling, or I want that while I'm away from my office. And so these things all tie together. It's not just the client OS on the appliance, but rather the way that client OS enables an entire solution all the way back to the service that the customer wants. Again, from a third-party perspective, as you're looking to develop either third-party software or third-party hardware that's adding on to the system, I want to make sure we share with you in terms of how we're looking at this marketplace and how we're trying to approach it. We really want to look at it from a complete end-to-end solution for an individual customer. And how that customer then is going to have different needs and different back-end services, and how it all ties back into their desktop and their information appliance. Now, in terms of the Microsoft strategic focus, again, another question I'm asked from time to time is, how important is Windows CE to Microsoft? And, it is a very important part of our overall strategic initiatives. Microsoft every year puts together initiatives where we're looking at how we're going to be marketing and selling our products. And two of the core initiatives that we have in the company are knowledge management and collaboration, and also line of business application platforms. Okay, and Windows CE really plays well into these two areas. Mobile companions for knowledge workers, and basically being able to extend Exchange server or SQL server database information is something that we believe customers really want to have. So we're looking at how do we build complete solutions that enable that functionality. And again, as a third party, if you're looking at that as well and thinking about it, and you come up with a solution, that's where I really want to engage with you and understand, well, how have you solved a problem, and how did you approach it, and is there a partnering opportunity? Because it supports one of our core strategic initiatives. Also, in terms of line of business applications, again, we really believe that customers want to be able to have a line of business application and capture information on a device like an information appliance, lightweight, long battery life, that then ties all the way back into their back-end services. Symbol Technologies, for example, announced their new product initiatives, and Bob Schreib, who's one of their product development managers, was talking about how they looked at this from a complete end-to-end solution. Capturing information at the point of origin using a barcode scanner, having that information feed back into their back-end services into a database, and then having that information available to customers across the board. So these are two areas, knowledge management, collaboration, and line of business applications, where we're going to be investing some of our marketing energies in terms of articulating to customers the solutions that we're developing. Now, in terms of what are PC companions, there's a wide range of devices in terms of palm-sized PCs, handheld PCs, and the ruggedized devices that are being introduced. So in terms of looking at the individual platforms to target, again, I'm probably not telling you anything new in terms of that there's a wide range of different device types that you can target as an independent software developer or as a peripheral manufacturer. And again, what we've tried to do in terms of our hardware specifications that we share with our OEM partners is try to build some consistency in there so that there are things like compact flash slots or PC card slots, so that there's a common way for customers to interface different peripherals to these devices, and that there's common tools that are available in terms of writing this software. So great products that are being developed really from a wide range of great companies. And again, we think this marketplace, in terms of the way that companies like Hewlett-Packard and Compaq, companies such as Intermec is building a rugged device, Symbol Technology again building a rugged device, as well as companies like NEC. We see just again a whole series of really great companies that are building these products and making them available to customers. Now, I wanted to share with you a little bit in terms of our target customer and how we're looking at the customer, and as I mentioned earlier, some research that we've done in terms of trying to size this marketplace and really understanding how customers are trying to use these devices. Now that we're grounded in terms of what the information appliance market is, and it's important to Microsoft, we see this market really as being two classes of customers. People that spend time away from their office, so they are mobile individuals or mobile professionals, but then also two classes of types of users. What I define as power Windows users as well as enterprise customers. And again, both these people, class of customers, have a requirement of they need information while they're away from their office. So they have the need to stay productive while they're disconnected from their PC. But yet they also have different characteristics in terms of how they use these devices and how they actually are interested in technology themselves. The power Windows users we find are people that are really excited about the personal computer. They're really excited about technology in general, and that they're actually looking forward to really getting a device or getting a product and incorporating it into their lives. I'm sure many of you probably consider yourselves or are characterized as power Windows users. You're the people that your friends call when they want to buy something in their PC or need to have it configured. You're the type of person that goes out and you get the latest software or the latest hardware when it becomes available and incorporate it onto your device. And so the power Windows users is these folks are people that really love to explore the depths of Windows CE and the products that are available, and they're interested in that. We also see the enterprise customers, though, again, as being a very important marketplace to Microsoft and especially to the Windows CE business that we're trying to develop. And we see that as being both IT professionals as well as the business decision makers inside of enterprises. Now, for these people, concepts such as brand, concepts such as the flexibility and the expandability of the devices or of the operating system are important considerations before they make a purchase decision. So branding of the device or branding of the solution is something that is going to score high in terms of their metrics. And also, these folks are a little bit less excited about technology, but they will adopt technology if there is a bona fide business reason, a productivity reason for incorporating that technology into their businesses or into their lives. Now, it's also not to be mistaken that there are business decision makers and IT professionals who are also power users. And there's also people who work in IT as well as people who are business decision makers inside of enterprises who are really excited and are trying to get the latest in technology. But that's just how we're trying to classify this marketplace and how we're looking at our marketing activities tying into these two groups. Also, in terms of comparing customers, we've been doing a lot of research trying to understand, okay, so where do these customers fit? Oh, I should also mention one thing, and that is that I think there are handouts at the back of the room. I have modified my presentation from the time I believe those handouts are printed, so I think they're a little out of sync. And I actually added a lot of the information on the next few slides. So the handouts, my presentation will be posted up on the website. You'll be able to download that and print it out and receive these handouts. But what we did in terms of looking at the customer base is that we have implemented a series of primary research programs at Microsoft to understand, okay, so who are these people and how are they using the products? And so what we saw in terms of just some basic demographics, that the age of a typical mobile professional is 38 years old. Primarily, it's 73% male, 27% female. The income, $57,000 is the average income in terms of this market. And the education, roughly 69%. This research came from multiple sources as well as some inside analysis that was done by our organization. We then looked at, okay, so how does that match up against the average American and the typical internet user, just to get a benchmark in terms of, okay, so how do these people compare? And intuitively what we saw is that roughly we're talking about primarily male-dominated, higher income, a higher educated user of a piece of technology compared to the average American in the marketplace. Well, we then did a survey, and we wanted to see, okay, so how does the Windows CE owner compare to the average Microsoft owner? And really trying to understand, are we appealing to the same customer base, or are we appealing to a different customer base? What we have here is, I just pulled some metrics. Again, 88% in this particular survey were male. So compared to the previous slide, we saw that in terms of the actual Windows CE usage, that actually we were 88% male versus the average that was done from a number of other analyst reports. That our average age matched up very nicely. It's 39 compared to 38. And that our college graduate or higher, 69%. And the average income was actually slightly higher. So this survey was done in August of last year, and it was basically a Windows CE registered user survey. We actually went out to our customer base and we asked a series of questions. And this is some of the demographic information we got back. We also wanted to find out, okay, so now that we understand a little bit about who these people are, what other kinds of technologies and products are they using? And how do they then incorporate those products into their lives? And what we saw is that television, 100%. This is an unaided question. We just basically had a series of check boxes. And VCR usage, 99%. PCs in the home I thought was really interesting. 98% had one PC in the home. So again, these people are technology savvy. They have a PC in their desk. They probably have one or more PCs in their home, and intuitively we think they're doing some kind of a synchronization between these two devices. We also saw a high propensity of cellular telephone usage, 73%, as well as something that was interesting to me was the 29% digital camera. 29 respondents, 29% basically came back and said, hey, we use a digital camera, which at the time that the survey was done, it was before the holidays, and so that's actually a really high metric for digital camera adoption, much higher than the average digital camera adoption in the market. We're going to go back out and re-query our customer base and do some additional research, but my guess would tell me that digital camera usage has probably even gone up more, and it is increasing when you look at some of the work that's occurred on both the handheld and the palm size space in terms of some image editing software that's being developed. This pop-up calls out that the total population penetration of home PCs is actually 40% in the U.S. population in general. Cellular phone usage is roughly 15%, as compared to, again, 73% for a Windows CE customer. Also, we wanted to find out, okay, so how do you characterize yourself when you look at software usage? And again, we found that a high percentage of people consider themselves either expert or advanced users. 70% of the people responded that they classify themselves that way, and only 8% said that they're novice or beginning users. So we're not, at this point with these particular products, we're not selling into a marketplace that's that's a new market. Even though, for example, a handheld PC is a product that is a very simple and intuitive product, we're selling into a marketplace that is an expert and advanced user, or consider themselves expert and advanced users of personal computing technology. So, as I mentioned earlier, I just wanted to give you some grounding in terms of the Microsoft strategy, and then also our look at the customer base and how we're trying to track the marketplace. I want to now speak about some of the Microsoft marketing activities, and again, how we see where we're heading with our marketing programs and the types of activities we're developing. And basically, I want to try to, as much as possible, leave some time for questions at the end of the presentation and maybe answer some of those for you. Really want to try to understand in terms of, as you're developing software applications or peripherals for this marketplace, what are the kinds of things that you're looking for to really seeing this marketplace take off. Now, Microsoft has initiated a series of advertising campaigns recently to really drive education and awareness in this particular market segment. We've invested multi-million dollars in both palm-sized PC advertising campaigns as well as in handheld PC advertising campaigns. And what I did here is I just included two of the screenshots for you to review. These campaigns kicked off in both national magazines as well as in newspapers. And in terms of what our objectives were that we wanted to build general platform awareness in both of these areas, the palm-sized PC and the handheld PC. So for example, the headline on the handheld PC campaign was, so why do I need a handheld PC? And then we had a series of payoffs, and the one here that I'm showcasing is because you can't email a napkin. And our objective is we wanted to educate people on how these devices are different from a laptop computer, for example. So we really drilled on the concepts of instant on, long battery life, the ability to synchronize information, and the fact that these devices were lightweight as being the key benefits for customers. We also have initiated a series of promotional advertisements to really stimulate sales in these categories. And we've looked at ways of, how can we help not only educate the marketplace on what these products are all about, but how do we also help our OEM partners in terms of selling more products? And in terms of, here, this is an area where, again, I see a real opportunity for third-party support. For example, in this particular campaign, we incorporated a value offer with a compact flash memory manufacturer, Kingston, and we offered a free Kingston compact flash card actually for people that purchased a handheld PC product. The screenshot that I've shown here, it was a Microsoft application, Pocket Streets, that we included as the promotional benefit. But there were lots of opportunities in terms of working with Microsoft to help stimulate sales of the devices as well as help promote the different software applications that are out in the marketplace. Now again, as I mentioned earlier, we also want to focus on the power user. We're looking at, again, if we have a customer base that are interested in advanced technologies and advanced products, we want to showcase the capabilities that the platform has vis-a-vis the competition. So in this particular campaign, we highlighted the fact that the new Windows CE color devices were available. So the headline was a palm-sized PC that blazed the blues and the yellows and the greens and the reds. And then we actually selected a third-party software application from Sierra Imaging, their Image Expert CE application. And we showcased that application as part of this particular advertisement. And we worked with Sierra Imaging so that they could showcase the fact that their application was being used in the Microsoft ad to help stimulate some interest and stimulate some awareness with OEMs as well as with the marketplace in general on the product's capabilities. So I believe they actually had a tie-in to their website that you could then you could click on a copy of the ad, or you could click on some links and get some more detailed information on the Sierra Imaging application. This again shows an innovative third-party software developer that wrote an application. There was a real need on our side to be able to showcase the power capabilities and the color capabilities of the Windows CE devices. And so there was a real synergy in matching up their software application with our national advertising campaign. Going forward, wherever possible, we want to try to showcase third-party software products in our campaigns, because we think that it's a great way of highlighting the benefits of the overall platform that Microsoft has developed. Now, also in terms of other specific promotional opportunities that exist for third parties, we have a number of different ways for third-party developers to promote their products. One of the first ways that I highly recommend is just engaging with us on the public relations side and working with our public relations, both our third-party public relations firm as well as with our own internal people on letting us know about the new products that you've developed, or if you have any wins that you've achieved in the marketplace, large account sales, innovation that's occurred, or a customer example where they've been able to take some of your technology and your products and your expertise and making those available to customers in a unique and innovative way. So I included an email address, wceedit@microsoft.com. And as you're ready to bring your product to market, or you're looking for some kind of public relations support from Microsoft, that's the email alias that you should send a quick message to. We're happy to support any types of marketing activities that you're implementing, either with a supporting quote or inclusion in the in like a Microsoft event press kit, or like a trade show press kit. For example, here at the Developers Conference, I believe there's something like 40 plus third-party press releases that came out simultaneously with this event. And those are, I believe, posted up on our website, and then there's supporting quotes in those press releases. So that's something that's available to all of our third-party developers, and I'd strongly encourage you to take advantage of that. It does two things. First off, it ties your product name with Microsoft, and so as an editor is doing it, if they're doing any kind of a web-based search to pull out information, they might pick up a Microsoft name before they might pick up your company's name. So just from that perspective, it's really good. The second thing it does, though, is that it highlights to our PR organization, some of the innovation that you've been able to achieve with the platform. And what that does is that they're always looking for something that's new and interesting to be able to demonstrate to members of the media. Because the media is really geared on hearing about both existing products and how customers are using those existing products, but they also get very excited about something that's new. I mean, they're like you and I, right? They're people, and if they've heard it before, it's not as interesting. If it's new, it's something that could be interesting. And so by sending an email to that alias, what it does is that it tells our PR people that, hey, this is something new and interesting. There's a high chance that then that could get demonstrated out to members of the media, and we have an opportunity to interact with some fairly influential people in the press. So again, it's a good opportunity for you. Another opportunity is the product and service locator, and this is a resource that basically highlights the different Windows CE products and services that are available, and it's part of our Windows CE, our general Windows CE website. And so what you're able to do is go into this database and register your company as a developer of Windows CE applications. And what I can do is I can just take you up to that site. I actually have it here on this machine. And what you can do, if you haven't done this already, again, I'd recommend that you go up to the Windows CE site and you can take a look at the products area. What we tried to do is organize the site by products, enterprise solutions, embedded systems, and then application developer. So again, not trying to organize it by our own internal communications of PC companions, embedded tools, SDKs. We wanted to try to organize by products, because we think that that's when someone's interested in Windows CE, they're really interested in a product. I want to find out about a palm-sized PC like the Compact Aero. So I'm interested in a product, so I'm going to try to click on here to find information on products. Or I work at an enterprise and I'm looking for enterprise solutions. I'm not looking for a handheld PC specifically, but I'm trying to find out what solutions exist. So if I just click on the product section, this gives me then a product guide and talks a little bit about some of the latest things that have been occurring in the Windows CE space, as well as there's a section that we labeled add-ons. Again, we looked at how do we characterize peripherals, characterize third-party software, and the customer-friendly term that seemed to bubble up to the top every time we tested it was add-ons, and so we went ahead and picked that. And there's just some information on add-ons, and then down here we have this section that says find hundreds of software apps and accessories. So if I click on that as a user, it just goes into this product guide, and then I can select, if I have a PC companion, what product am I looking for? So I'll say palm-sized PC. And then I can select a license type. Do I want commercial application? Do I want shareware or freeware? Do I want something where there's just no software license required? Or I could select all. I'll just select commercial. And then if I scroll down, I can go ahead and select one of the following categories: business, networking communications, financial calculators. Here what I'll do is just select business, business applications, and then I'll say search now. And then what this does is it goes to a database that third-party software and third-party peripheral manufacturers have entered their information. And so, this is all content that was entered by the marketing organizations of our partners. And so this pops up to the top. And it shows that there's 30 applications that fit the criteria that I selected. Here we've got B Square Essential Pack as being a business application. The JetForm filler from JetForm Corporation. Carrier Communications and Telegolf. So you get the idea in terms of what's available. So if I just go ahead and I'll pick this JetForm Corporation. Notice here that there's a couple of different links. I can click on the actual application. What this does is it takes me to the developer's website. So I now have a new window, and I'm, again, it gives you an opportunity to take someone off the Microsoft site and take them right to your site and ideally sell them something. I mean, this is where, since I came in, I was looking for business applications. I selected JetForm. I mean, I should, as a customer, it's almost like I want to understand what is JetForm and how do I buy it. All right, so here's the real sales opportunity in terms of closing some business. And then again, I can go back to this site, and I can click on any of the other applications if I wanted to. So this is content that you fill out as a third-party software developer, as a peripheral manufacturer. It's a database that we have on our website, and it gives you an opportunity to tailor information that you want to be presented to a customer. Again, it also identifies you as an active Windows CE developer to our marketing organization. So we have a list of the companies that are registered in this database. We know who's active and who's basically participating and who's keeping their information up to date. And that helps us in terms of understanding, okay, so what's hot in this marketplace and how can we continue to partner and work together. Also one other thing I should mention is, if you notice on the carrier communications, you can insert JPEGs into this form. So again, there's a real opportunity in terms of both highlighting individual screenshots or photographs, as well as if a company has a logo, that also pops up as part of the database. Which leads me into my next point, and that's the Windows CE logo program. Again, there is an opportunity in terms of having a logoed application. So if you've developed a software application, you can go through the testing process to have that application logoed. And testing's inexpensive. It's roughly $300. We're trying to make it as easy as possible. I mean, it's actually run by an independent company outside of Microsoft. We set the guidelines, and then they implement the tests. And we think that there's a real opportunity in terms of having a Windows CE logo on a piece of third-party software. Also, though, going forward, we believe it will become more and more important. And it's our goal to make it very important that if a customer is interested in buying a piece of software, that they could see the Windows CE brand, and then that brand would actually mean something to them, and they'll be able to then value it. So going forward, we do see that as being something that's important. But right now, again, there is an opportunity to participate in the Windows CE logo program and have your application logo. And then I put, in terms of the website, the Windows CE/developer section has some information on that. In addition, there's opportunities from third parties such as Infinity Publishing that publishes the Windows CE Resource Guide. This is a guide that's included in many of the Windows CE products, as well as the OEM partners hand out these publications at trade shows. And then also Microsoft has been handing these out at trade shows as well. This guide has a listing of different publications, different applications that are available for Windows CE devices. It really is targeting both new and existing device owners. So, you know, there's if the publication comes in the box, right, then that's someone who just purchased the product. But if a person picks it up at a trade show, if they receive it in some kind of a mailing, then, you know, it's an opportunity to really get in front of a customer who may already have a product or has been using a product for a period of time. In addition, what I've heard from people is that it's a good way to make an introduction to the Windows CE OEMs. So if, you know, part of your strategy is to identify an OEM or a series of OEMs that you want to work with, write software applications, and then have that OEM incorporate those products into their devices, then the resource guide is a good way of basically educating, identifying yourself to the OEM partners. Because, you know, they receive those publications as well, they read through them, and they see the different companies that are making an investment in the space and marketing their products to customers. There's a contact at Affinity Publishing, Ginny Simons. I put down her phone number. She's also available by email at Ginnys, Ginnys @penwell.com if you want information on the resource guide. Penwell also has a booth here at the Developers Conference, and so you could just stop by their booth and pick up some information on the resource guide. In addition, we've done a lot of work with Penwell, and we're in the process of introducing a new publication that is targeted towards enterprise customers, so it really highlights enterprise solutions, enterprise users. And there's some information at the back of the room that talks about this new publication. I think it actually includes a rate card, as well as, again, you could talk with the folks from Penwell here at the show if you want some additional information. But that's a good way to target a very specific segment of the marketplace and understand, help customers understand where you're positioning your products, how you want to build the market, and where you have a unique opportunity. In terms of the channel, Microsoft has worked really closely with the distribution channel to really understand what are the requirements in retail distribution for our products. To be candid, we are really focused on positioning and selling the hardware at this point and the overall solutions, and really understanding what are the requirements from a retail channel perspective. Channels such as CompUSA, Circuit City, Best Buy, the Staples, Office Depot, Office Max, really the top channel partners. You know, what are their requirements, and how can we help our OEMs have product in the channel? How can we help display that product more effectively? How can we help the customer when they walk in, they can actually find these devices and interact with them? So we've, Diana Heilman, who's our channel manager, has just done an excellent job really trying to work with the channel and understand that. Now, while she's out talking to the channel, though, she's also trying to understand, okay, so how could we market software in retail? You know, what requirements does the retail channel have, and what's the most effective way of doing it? And so we're just in the process right now of really gathering that input and understanding where is there an opportunity to market software add-on peripherals at retail. Retail distribution, I'm sure as many of you know, is a very expensive proposition, and you know, the channel has its own criteria and its own requirements in terms of having a product come into distribution. And so, you know, I don't know about each of your individual requirements from a software or hardware perspective, nor do I understand or know all about your individual businesses, right? But it's just, that's a very expensive business model, and so if you're a small, undercapitalized company, that may not be the right distribution channel for you. However, we do believe that there is an opportunity going forward for people to buy third-party peripherals and to buy software. So we are trying to gather that data, and we'll be sharing more with you as we understand that marketplace ourselves. One thing we are looking at, though, is that the channel has certain requirements in terms of packaging and distribution, and so we're trying to understand, okay, so you know, what was the ideal package size? It's probably not the same kind of packaging that that retail software is being distributed in today, because the shelf space there just isn't as much shelf space available to third-party peripherals in the appliance market as there is on the PC marketplace. So, you know, one packaging concept that we've seen that's been very successful has been the DVD case packaging style. because that's something that it's a standard packaging. It has the ability to add a peg loop to it, and it's something that then can be displayed alongside with the hardware, so that customers then, as they're making a purchase decision on the hardware, a retail sales representative might be able to upsell them for some software. So again, we want to look at different packaging concepts and then come back with a recommendation on what we think would make the most sense, and just purely present it as a guideline based on feedback we've heard from the channel. Ultimately, though, our goal is that we want customers to really understand that there are solutions available in these products, that they're not just buying a device and then buying an add-on, but they're looking to buy a solution. So one area where Diana is really trying to spearhead going forward is trying to build solution sales in specific vertical markets. For example, looking at a solution sale for real estate agents, and maybe incorporating image editing software, a digital camera, and a Windows CE device. So that's one area where, again, let us know what you're working on. We'll try to share as much of our plans so that we can help create a whole product solution for customers. Now, one other point I'd like to mention, again, maybe I'm just stating what's intuitively obvious, but web distribution is very powerful, is very useful for power users. The power users, the 70% of the people that are buying Windows CE devices today, these are the people that are also buying products off the web. So, again, when I go back to the product locator, making sure that you have a sales opportunity as part of your web link. Again, if I've come so far to go through the product locator, and I've come to your website, as a customer, try to sell me, make an offer, so that as a customer I can make a purchase decision. Educate me and try to sell. I mean, that's why the customer is actually interested in coming to your site. And again, I mean, I'm always surprised by how few actual sales opportunities are being presented as part of this product locator. Web is a good way of capturing these people and making a sale to them. What I wanted to show here is some of the in-store displays. Again, one of Diana's objectives has been to get the Windows CE devices out from behind the glass case, make those available so that a customer can interact with them. And an opportunity, if you have some innovative software, you could work with like an OEM to create a point of sale that helps showcase your software solution at retail. So Windows CE devices at Staples. I also, we had a screenshot from the PC Companion section at CompUSA. This is a section that's being rolled out, I believe, to the top CompUSA stores and then ultimately to all their CompUSA locations. So again, getting these devices out from behind the glass case, putting them in a place where customers can interact with them and use them. And this would be a classic way, for example, to have retail software packages displayed side by side with the devices. It'd be great if there was like a 6-peg area where software could be lined up and made available for customers. Now, another area of focus is it ties back into the line of business solutions, and in terms of the knowledge management collaboration, is really looking at corporate solutions using Windows CE. And we have some programs that we've implemented to help accelerate the corporate solutions. We've built a solution provider program that's, if you will, it's a subset of the Microsoft Solution Provider program that's run from our organization. And what we're trying to do is just educate solution providers on the opportunities in the information appliance space, as well as identify and work with solution providers who have already created really killer solutions and have been in the process of adopting those solutions to the marketplace. For example, STEP is one solution provider that has created a solution that they're now selling into the market. There's a company called Micromodeling Association. Micromodeling has written some software that they're using in the movie industry in terms of a way of being able to track expenses on movie production. And they used a Windows CE device, wrote their software on top of it, and then have sold that complete solution into the movie industry. So what we want to do is identify, who are these companies that are creating corporate solutions or whole product solutions, and make sure that there's a vehicle for you to then come into our system and identify yourself and see if there's a way of working together. As I mentioned earlier, we're always looking for really innovative ways that companies have adopted Windows CE. So if you have a way that you are working on, again, whenever you feel it's most appropriate, we'd like to understand what is that solution, how is it being used, what products is it selling, and is it tying into back-end servers? You know, is it helping to sell a back-end server like an Exchange server or a SQL server? Because that really ties into that whole knowledge management collaboration solution that Microsoft wants to articulate. In terms of resources that are available for solution providers, again, what we've done is we've created a subset of the Microsoft Solution Program, really tying into the Solution Provider Program, so that there's, if you go up to the partnering.microsoft.com website, under the Microsoft Certified Solution Provider section, there's some information on Windows CE and how to work with Windows CE. There's also a web listing of solution providers, and so again, for any of you that are out there that are Microsoft certified solution providers, you know, make sure that if you are making developments on Windows CE, that you update your web listing so that that database is correct. And then we're looking at doing case studies and design wins. So we look at if there is a killer solution that's out there that you've created, make it available to us. We'd like to put that into a case study, and then we'll use that case study as part of our overall marketing activities to help educate customers on how these products are being used, how customers are more productive, and what this total solution looks like. Again, as I mentioned earlier, there's Enterprise Solutions magazine from Penwell that's being created, and we see that these case studies would be a great vehicle in that publication. So, you know, now I'm an IT professional, I'm a business decision maker, I receive this publication, I'm reading through it, I understand what products are available, I read through a few more pages, and I hear about different solutions that have been created around the whole, the Windows CE products, around the hardware devices. So that's how we want to tie it all together, and so we've created a program to help make that happen. In addition to other activities, we are participating in a series of trade shows, and so I just created a list of what I think are the key industry events or key trade shows, some of which are relatively large shows like Comdex and CES and PC Expo, some of which are some Microsoft internal shows, such as the technical briefing that occurs every year. It's our opportunity to talk to people at a very technical level, as well as Fusion, which is the solution providers trade shows. And so there's opportunities in each of those spaces. And then also some are very industry focused, such as DCA, which is the Salesforce Automation show. And we see Salesforce Automation with Windows CE as being a real natural marketplace. And so we have a number of activities that are planned in terms of the Salesforce Automation space, as well as in that particular event. Now, opportunities for third parties at these shows, at any of the major Microsoft events, we've created a third-party showcase section where there's an opportunity to basically be in a subset of the Microsoft booth and to showcase your third-party software or your hardware. So that, again, if you've not participated in any of those trade shows, you know, such as the Consumer Electronics Show, there's an opportunity for you to then work with Microsoft and our events team and basically take a part of the booth to showcase your product and solution. And I've talked to many third parties that have done that, and they've all said that's a worthwhile exercise. What I've also found is that booth space actually sells out very quickly. And again, 2 years ago we had a hard time selling that space. Now in the way that this marketplace has evolved, it sells out very quickly. So if it's something you're interested in, I'd recommend, again, registering with us and letting us know it's something that you'd like to do. So just in summary, again, as I mentioned, Windows CE is something that is strategic to Microsoft. We've invested a significant amount of resources into Windows CE from both a development perspective as well as from a marketing perspective. But really what's key is that Windows CE helps enable some of the core scenarios that our management team thinks is super important for the company. So knowledge management, collaboration, line of business applications, right? Those are key solutions that we want to enable, and Windows CE and these devices and software that we create and you create help enable those solutions. So it is something that is very strategic to Microsoft going forward. In addition, there are third parties that are expanding their businesses and really taking a leadership space in the mobile solutions category. And so, companies like Elium Software have been they were an early software development partner with Microsoft. They've written a number of software applications. They're kind of taking a space in this marketplace and really saying, hey, we're going to be a leader in this space. Companies like Ruxin, they've written software. They've developed a number of applications. Those are available. Firms like AvantGo, Carrier Communications, Puma. These are all early partners, and so we're seeing that there are companies that are taking that leadership position as this marketplace evolves. And again, recommend that each of you look at, okay, how do we, now that we've made the decision to purchase, to create a software application, what's the most effective way of getting that software to market, and how do we do it? And then again, I'd recommend you participate in the Microsoft-sponsored activities. That includes the web locator, the press activities, and the partner pavilions. I can't underscore how important those are, just from an identification perspective, as well as from just an intangible opportunity perspective. I look at one of our PR people just met with Walt Mossberg from the Wall Street Journal and demonstrated Sierra Imaging and demonstrated Audible and demonstrated some other third-party software applications. So that's the kind of exposure that working with Microsoft and our marketing organization, you may or may not be available to you. So let us know who you are and participate in our press activities, participate in the partner pavilions at the trade shows that we sponsor. These are, in my opinion, high-value opportunities for you. So that concludes my presentation. I did want to spend a few minutes and just see if I could maybe answer if there's like one or two general questions from the audience, or if you'd like, I'd be happy to answer specific questions here at the front of the room. Okay. Any general questions? If not, thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the show. Oh, I'm sorry, there is one question.
A correction on the email address for Penwell is 2X.
Okay. Okay, the only point of clarification is that the email address for Penwell is actually 2 N's, not 1 N, 2 N's. Great. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.